Welcome to another episode of Class Haven Farms. So what do we got going on today? Well, today we are going to do an unboxing of the VEVOR 20-inch tripod stand chicken plucker. So as some of you guys know, we have 14 Cornish cross chicks that we've been raising. They're about 2 weeks away from being processed at 8 weeks total. And we also have one rooster that we're going to dispatch. So I figured it was time to get a plucker. I've done chickens by hand. Figured it was no better time now than to pick up this VEVOR chicken plucker. So we'll go ahead and do an unboxing and show you guys what this thing looks like, how to assemble it. So stay tuned. This is the model TM50 chicken plucker, and as you can see, it's a true unboxing. Cool thing about this is that we are an affiliate influencer for the VEVOR company. So there will be a link to this plucker down in the description. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure you click on that link and help support Class Haven Farms, kind of help us out. We'll go ahead and do this unpacking, kind of go through everything, and we'll learn as we go together. Now, this is the first time I've ever bought a product from this company. Been seeing a lot of this company, and especially, just the price that they have on tools and things like that. I think I paid $359 for this plucker, which was on sale if you signed up for their website, which I had. So it'll come with instructions. This here, and the cool thing is they have everything numbered. So this will have your number or where this goes in order to put it together. This is the chute that you'll put on the bottom for your feathers to come out when you're defeathering your birds. Comes with all your hardware, handles, nozzle, just like everything there. Some extra fingers here, so your rubber fingers. And then your plug switch. So let's go ahead and pull this thing out, this drum. All the way out there. See if there's anything else down here in the bottom. Looks like it's pretty well packaged. It was here pretty quick. After ordering it, did not take long for this thing to come in. I've been looking at chicken pluckers for a while. As some of you know, we have 6 turkeys that will be coming in at the end of July. So we'll have 6 turkeys that we're going to raise up in time for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it looks like it's got the legs attached here to the side of the styrofoam. Again, everything here looks to be packaged very, very well. It's pretty decent company to work with. Nice and easy to get set up with their influencer program. So that was kind of nice. I didn't have to go through any crazy things like I had to go through with some of the others that I've tried in the past. This box seems kind of heavy, so I think there's more to it. Yes, there is. There's the wheels. I'm kind of excited, man. As I've said in the past, I've done chickens by hand and plucked them by hand. Watched my grandmother do it, and I am definitely excited to get all of this put together. So I'll go ahead and get everything laid out here on the picnic table here and then show it to you guys. We'll go through the instructions and get this thing set up. You will need a 6mm Allen wrench, 14mm just standard wrench, 14mm on a ratchet wrench. And then the nice thing is, like I said, everything's got numbers on it, kind of let you know where everything's going to go. Instructions look really good, nice and detailed, no questions. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to this. This thing, the biggest thing is just attaching the wheels and the legs to it, which is kind of the reason why I got this plucker instead of some of the others. First part in the instructions here is installing your boot where the feathers will come out once you start rinsing the chicken out. Now this plucker doesn't say that it'll fit turkeys, it says it's for chickens. But here's the way I looked at it. For the price point, it was perfect for me. As you guys know, I don't like to spend a lot of money, and I don't have a whole lot of money to spend. But looking over the website, it'll say that this plucker will do 2 to 4 chickens, which we'll see. My birds should dress out anywhere from 5 to 7 pounds in 2 more weeks when we go to process them. But I figure it with 2 chickens, if you can run 2, then you probably could run 1 turkey. And if not, as I said, I'm only doing 6 turkeys, so I've done turkeys by hand in the past. So if need be, if this plucker won't work, if it's too small, then I'll just pluck them by hand. So our boot's on, so that's our first step. So the second step here is assembling the wheels onto this axle. So it's got laid out number 2 here on the wheel and then number 2 on the axle. Again, 14 millimeter socket on the ratchet wrench. It already has the hardware here, so I have the washer and I have the bolt. It's got a collar here, so you just slide the wheel on and then just snug this thing up. You have to do that twice because you have 2 wheels per axle on this. Wheels are plastic. Kind of the reason why, as I said, I went with this plucker is because of how portable it is. It's not like I have a fixed place here on the property of where I'm going to be processing my chickens, which means I need it to be able to move. All right. Doesn't have to be highway speed, just snug it up. I wouldn't go too tight, only because it's plastic. So good on that one, and I'll go ahead and get this knocked out because it's pretty repetitive. You saw it once, you'll see it a second time if I did it again. So something I noticed here, when you do this wheel, it's got the number 2 on it, and then on the inside where the axle is, it's got the number 2. But then when you flip this leg up, it's got the number 3, and then the number 3 also goes along with that there. So I'll tell you, as far as putting it together, pretty easy. You're just gonna lay this in here and you're just looking for number 3 here, number 3 here. The bolts for this come in this bag here, so you have 2 long bolts with nuts. Again, they're all 14 millimeter. So we'll go ahead, get that slid through here. We're trying to do this on a picnic table so that I don't knock the tripod over. It's always funny. I think that's the biggest thing when you watch YouTube videos. What a lot of people don't understand is it actually takes us longer to do things like this because we have to make sure we're setting the camera up and we have to make sure that we're getting a good picture and sound quality and all that. So after every time that you do a recording or a scene, you have to always go back and watch it to make sure, hey, is that what I wanted it to do? And then you get your keyboard warriors that want to talk garbage to you. That's why I always tell people when they start with that, I'm like, well, I can't wait to see your YouTube channel. I want to see what that looks like. Probably would be better. Let me put an extension on that. So it's funny, as you guys know, if you've been following my channel, you know, I lived in my sister's for a while in my camper, and I have a shed down there. Luckily, I have parents that I have, and they picked up a shed for me so I could store all my tools. So I'm still working out of the little tool set that I used to have in the camper that was just kind of there when I needed a set of tools. So I've started moving all of my equipment, all my tools and stuff from my sister's up here in the block shed in the back, and then the game plan is once I get all that stuff moved out, then I'll get a company to bring my new shed up here to the new property. So just, you know, as I said, starting over. Single dad starting over after 15 years of being with somebody and having my own place and having everything established that was mine, and then now having to start all that back over. So that's leg number 3, and they do the same thing with this other leg. So number 4 would go here on this side. Oops, sorry. And you would just line it up. So I'll go ahead and get this bolted together, and then I'll show you the next step. So we got both legs on with the wheels, right? So number 4 here, and the number 4 sticker is there. And again, I showed you guys this side. So number 3 and number 3, and now we have number 5 and number 5. So we'll get that on, and I'll show you the next step. So our last step here is we have number 1 here for the handle, number 1 here on the top of the plucker, and then it gives you the hardware kit here for number 1. So on this is where you'll need your 6mm Allen wrench. Gives you 2 Allen head bolts, 2 14mm nuts, and then 2 washers. So run your Allens down through the top, and then your washer and nut would go in here on the bottom. So here's something that I could see this being a problem later on, really no big deal, but because of this machine moving and the way that it operates, I could definitely see if you don't tighten these bolts up all the way, I could see the nut backing itself out, and the washer and the nut falling down here into the plucker. So just something to think about. But all in all, this whole thing setting up is pretty easy. Very, very self-explanatory, very good instructions. I have kind of noticed some dents and things here on the top of the stainless, but nothing that's gonna cause it to not perform correctly. And you know, that's, you look at this thing, has a suggestion here on the top. It said suggest weight of de-haired poultry should not exceed 5 kilograms. If motor stops working due to overload, first turn off the power and wait 5 minutes before starting. So, you know, as I said, this thing, I'm not sure that it will do turkeys. Maybe if you have smaller turkeys. I know in the past, I helped a buddy of mine a couple years ago. He had some turkeys that were like 38 pounds. So I don't think I would try to put a 38-pound turkey in this plucker. But for doing 15 chickens here in 2 weeks, this one will work very well for me. And chickens will be what I primarily do. I do plan on doing some turkeys just to give them to family and friends, you know, for the holidays and things like that. And I know the Chicken Whisperer is super excited about getting some turkeys. He just went on a field trip. Actually, him and the Lily Tamer went on a field trip for school, where the farm that they were at does a lot of the Joel Salatin type of farming, which is kind of what we do and what I kind of set some of my stuff up here to resemble. So it was kind of funny listening to him, because he was so excited when I picked him up. He's like, "Dad, they got 1,000 chickens and they want to do kind of like what we do with when we build the egg mobile." So it's fun watching your kids get excited about stuff like that. So I kind of gonna walk you guys around so you can see the legs on it. Let me get this thing adjusted here. So you would just grab the handle and tilt it up, and then you can move it around. And again, for me, I thought this would be the best style plucker to go with, at least for me personally. Maybe eventually, as I get into this more and more, if we start running a lot more birds, then maybe I'll pick up a better quality plucker. But I'll tell you, for what I'm looking at here, this looks pretty good. I mean, for cleaning out, get you guys set up here on the tripod. You can take these latches off and there's 3 of them. And this whole thing, oh, I'm sorry, there's 4 of them. My apologies. This whole thing will lift off, so you can clean all this out. You can clean your drum out, and then just line everything back up. So it kind of reminds me of the Yardbird plucker that you would see at like Tractor Supply, and again for a fraction of the cost. So I think this will work out pretty good for us. Not hard to put together at all. Pretty easy to move around. So we'll go ahead and get this thing. I know I don't have any chickens ready to process yet, but I'll go ahead and get it plugged in and run some water through it. See. So here's the plucker all put together. Again, you just lift up on the handle here, move it around. Pretty self-explanatory. Green turns it on. Show you guys what it looks like as it's spinning. And grab the hose. Of course, I don't have any chickens there, but you would, if your chicken was there, you're just spraying it. And then all your feathers are going to run down there on the edges, and then down on the very bottom here. See if I can zoom in for you guys. That's where your feathers would come out. So the thing that's kind of nice about that, put this on so you can see the water coming down. Some of the, I think the Yardbird model, the one thing that a lot of people complain about is when the feathers come out, doesn't have this extension piece on it. So the feathers would get caught up here in the motor and cause the motor to short. So with this, you could fold it up here, put your bucket underneath, or it gives you this bag to be able to kind of put there on the bottom and have the feathers go into it. But anybody that's ever processed chickens knows chicken feathers are going to fill this bag up pretty quick. Maybe if this was quail or dove or something like that, that bag would work out pretty good. But all in all, pretty nice setup. That will wrap up this video. Again, this was just a quick install, kind of put it together, unboxing. I'll show you guys what it looks like. I will put a link for our affiliate program here down in the description. So if you're interested in this chicken plucker, go ahead and click on that link. And if you make a purchase, it helps us out, kind of helps the channel out. I'm excited for in the next 2 weeks to get going with this. As I said, we got 14 Cornish cross and then one of our roosters that we hatched. So that's going to be one of ours that we hatched from back in November. So we'll have 15 birds total, kind of put this thing through a nice little run. So prepare to see another video. If you like stuff like this, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and follow us along. And make sure you like the video and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If there's a different plucker out there that you like. If anybody has tried this tripod 20-inch plucker, if you've tried a turkey, you know, let me know what size turkey you did and how well it did. I do plan on, I'll try it if the turkeys don't grow out to be too big, but the way I have it slated, probably the second week of November will be when I process those turkeys. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. So as always, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.